So in this session, we're going to discuss how to set up a margin matrix. So from my home ribbon, I'm going to go to Enterprise Setup. Just below this margin threshold is what we call a margin matrix. So first of all, what is a margin matrix? A margin matrix tells the system how much of a markup you want on a material line or a sublet line that is a non-inventory item. Non-inventory. So anytime I'm on a work order and I order in a part or I receive in a sublet, it will do an automatic markup for me. So here we have this one called General Services. Let me open this up by double clicking. So here we have this set on a linear or a sliding scale. And basically it's just to cover all the parts that are non-specific. We're telling the system to go to location number 3. So a margin matrix allows you to pick and choose which locations you want it to go to. Typically, you're going to have multiple matrices depending on what you're selling. So since this is a general one, this is going to cover most of my parts. Now, what happens if I want to be more specific? I come up here and hit Add. Now I can create my own. So let's say I want to make one just for tires. You can enter a little description if you wish. And then what I need to do is start setting up my markup. So I go down here to Add. And we'll start with a gross profit margin of, let's say, 35%. Hit OK. Now I need to set my second tier or second level. Hit Add again. So let's say any tire that is $75 or more, I want a 25% margin. And you just keep adding until you're satisfied with what you have. So let's go $100 and a 15% margin. And one more. So anything over 150, we're going to go for a 9% margin. So as you can see, depending on the cost of the tire, it will mark up the tire automatically. Now this is a standard or a stair stepper. You can do this on a sliding scale that's a linear. You just simply click it. It will have to put a max value here. It just doubles whatever your highest cost is. And hit OK. So now I have a sliding scale. Again, I want this to go to location 3. Once I have this set, I have to set up rules. So if I go down to my matrix rules, here under general service, this is just kind of a blanket general markup. It's going to do all material items at location 3. Again, non-inventory. But since we made one for tires, we need to go add a rule for tires. So we go Add. I'm going to set up tires. Again, it's for material lines on tires. Now you can be very specific here. I can say, well, I want it to go to a specific category. So maybe my tire and wheel category. I can code a service package. I can go by title. I can go by description. Manufacturer, maybe specific manufacturers, Michelin, Toyo, Bridgestone, whatever. I can also set a specific supplier that I purchase from, maybe ATD or NTD. And I can tag a specific material line. So let's tag it. Now, in order to use a tag, I have to have a tag to pick. Okay, so I'm just going to call this tire. Click. Now again, rules. Whenever you're talking rules, rules always go from the top down. So the more specific it is, the higher up the list. Now, in order for this tag to work in this matrix, I have to go create it. So let's go create a tag real quick, show you how that works. So I'm going to go to tags. I'm going to save this. And we're going to create a material line tag. And we're just going to call it tire. There's my tag. So what is a tag? Tag is a sticky note. It's a sticky note. I have to tell the system what specific material lines I want to use this on. So I go to my services down here. I'm going to go to my tires and wheels. And then basically I would just open up each service package that have tires, go to that line itself, open it up, and now I go tag it. So I'm going to go find the tag that I made. There it is. Okay. So anytime you're using tags, remember, they're very specific. So since it's a material line tag, I have to pick and choose exactly which lines I want to use it on. So in that case, I would actually go through each one of these service packages and go tag those lines. So at location 3, let's go open this up. Actually, I have 2 different sales departments. I have also a counter sales department, which is parts only. So what if I want to make a matrix for that also? So I go to margin matrix, add. So this might be my parts or counter sales. Again, it's going to location 3. And let me open that up again. And let's go set up a markup. So on my parts counter, I might only want to make a 25% margin across the board on all items. Hit OK. Now I go back down to my rules and create a rule. So counter sales is going to go on anything from that one category. So if I save this like it is, this will not work. So again, the more general, the more down at the bottom. The more specific, more to the top. So if I take this, slide it up, take my tire, slide it up. So now it'll work from the top down. And now I save the order. So let's go over to location 3 and see how this looks. So here we are in location 3. I'm going to go to the setup, margin matrix. There's our 3 matrix, counter sales, general service, and tires. And then we go look at our rules. See, the rules are the important thing. So again, tires first, counter sales, general services. That's the order it'll go. That's how you set up a margin matrix to go out to individual locations. So here we've brought this matrix over and our rules. What's the last thing we want to do here? Whenever you're creating something new, especially or making changes, you want to test it. You always want to test this. So we're going to use this one as an example on how to test things. So as I bring it over, and I know it's here, it's already set up, I'm going to go over to my work orders. Here I have a work order for Mr. Kozik. Open it up. Let's go add some jobs and see if it works. So we're going to go put on just a general service job. Add. We're going to go put on a tire job. Remember I tagged that one. Add. And then what we're going to do here is go add counter sale job. All right. So remember the general stuff, no matter if it's an oil change or air filter or whatever, it's not related to a tire that's been tagged or a counter sale. So if I just open this part line and enter a cost, let's say it's $5, and I hit tab on my keyboard, see there's my general matrix. What if this cost is different? Let's say it's $100. Hit tab on the keyboard, matrix is going to change depending on my cost. And again, this is a part that I'm entering into the system. So if I receive it in, that means I'm bringing it from an outside source, not inventory. On the tire, if I go put a cost in, let's say $50, see there's my markup. If my cost changes, let's say it's $80, it's going to change the amount that's marking it up. And on my part sales, any cost I put here, remember it was just a flat percentage, whether it's $10, it's going to mark it up, or whether it's $1,000, it's still going to be the same. That's how you test this out. Always make sure it works.